What impacts the world, impacts the community. The time to know is now.
It's time for Edgewise. This is the show where we discuss the things going on in the community, state, and world, and letting you get your opinion in edgewise. Any views or opinions expressed by the guests, phone callers, and hosts of the show are strictly the views and opinions of the guests, phone callers, and hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of WMMG, its sponsors, or employees.
Here we are on another Monday, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is another day that the Lord has made. The sun is shining, and here we are for another edition of Edgewise, whether you like it or not. I'm Alex Chad Hobbs in the studio.
Hey.
And I would ask how your morning's going, but I'll just refrain from that. I've heard all about it off air this morning, so I'll refrain from asking you how your day's going.
Good old Mondays.
As a fellow Jeep owner, though, I get it. I get those. I get those types of struggles. They can be a pain sometimes, man.
Yeah,
I tell you.
Yeah, nothing like losing your brakes going down the road.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. You know, I was telling you about this too off the air, but I guess it's weird how some of the different models of vehicles out there and some of the around the same years and stuff like that will have some of the same problems.
Well,
Like they'll have it because what you were talking about, the brake caliper sticking. My dad has had tremendous amount of problem with the brake caliper sticking on his Jeep, and he's got like a 2017 Wrangler. I've never had that, but I've got mine's a few years older than that. Mine's a 2014, and I have had the exact same engine knocking problem. Thank God I recently got that fixed. A mechanic that I know is a blessing, and got that thing fixed. But I was having the exact same engine knocking problem that he had on one of his old ones that he had that was around the same year as that. So it's weird how like some of the same vehicles, same years, that they're known for their specific problems.
Well, that's what I wasn't really too upset about it Friday because I knew I needed to do some work on them anyway, and so spent all day Saturday morning switching that out, put a new one on. Well, they're rebuilt ones you get from the part house, and we went up because our anniversary's today. Happy anniversary, Kelly. And it went fine. Drove 2 hours up to Brown County, Indiana, and 2 hours back. Thankfully, it held together. And then this morning, I was down here in Brandenburg and heard a big pop, and I lost my brakes and or didn't have much of them, and I got to the stoplight and was waiting to turn off to see what was going on, and the guy pulled up beside me, and he's like, "Your brake caliper's hanging," and I'm like, "What?" And I pull in, and the brand new one, the whole back of it's blown off, just
well, that's
dangling.
fantastic.
So I got to get underneath there and take a oil bath or a brake fluid bath, trying to get that bungee corded up on my frame so I could get it home. Some channel locks on the brake line to shut it down. So
I tell you, man, like I love Jeeps. I've always have, but they can be such a pain sometimes. I think they really can. And especially you've got, like, yours has got a lift kit on it and everything, so you got a lot of aftermarket parts and stuff like that. Anytime you go doing that, you're just
and I've been, for the most part, never had any problems. It's been routine stuff.
Really? How many years have you had it?
Probably, I was going to say a couple, but the way years go anymore, maybe 3.
I was going to say, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
It's a Jeep.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Like my dad was always a Jeep guy growing up, and that's what kind of got me interested in Jeeps, got me liking Jeeps. But he had such good luck out of them over the years.
Yeah.
And then the two now that I have had have caused me so many. This one's been okay. I mean, it had a couple of problems when I first got it. It had the one major problem that I recently got fixed. Overall, it's been it's been okay. But I have had some problems out of it. And then my old one, forget about it. Oh my gosh, I was working on that thing every other week. I mean, it was crazy. Every sensor that could possibly go out on that thing went out. I had to change the fuel pump on it. I had the head gasket blow, cracked the head. I mean, just everything imaginable went wrong on that stupid thing.
Yeah, I had one years ago and had it for 4, 5, 6 years. And never really had anything with it. I've heard other people have problems, but knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky. But the initial problem that started Friday was probably as much my fault. It's not changing the pads when they needed to be changed. So I kind of got to blame myself on that. But I don't know what happened this morning. I'm just glad that it did it here in Brandenburg and not 2 hours north in Brown County, Indiana on a Sunday.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Or coming down, was that I-71 that goes up to Indianapolis?
Yeah, 71, I believe.
70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had good brakes because I needed them a few times with crazy drivers. But, yeah. So, otherwise, it was a good weekend.
I was going to say, another, to lighten things up, congratulations. Happy anniversary. How many years?
No, I kid. 19.
Were you really kidding, or were you stalling?
No.
19.
19 she put up with.
Well, congratulations.
Father-in-law's birthday today, so happy birthday, Dave. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool. Got a lot of busy month.
Yeah, and a little brake fluid bath. I didn't have that on my bingo card for today, but yeah. Got to take an extra shower, so I'm super clean.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anything on anybody's mind, by the way, give us a call, 422-3961, 3962. Anything you want to talk about, chat about, discuss, bring up, whether it's what we're talking about or not, you're more than welcome to do that. Weigh in our comments on the Facebook. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you want to say anything, interject over there as well. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know they had there's a couple big things happened Saturday here in Brandenburg. I heard the Tucker Day was really, really great. I wasn't out for it, but I heard the Tucker Day was a really great thing. Yeah,
that's an awesome event, and unfortunately, with my brake issue, I didn't get to go. I was going to go cover that morning before we left, and instead I was doing a brake job. So I didn't get to get down there for that. But glad that was a good event. That's an awesome thing the Wimpy family does, and all their extended family and friends and the local businesses.
Well, they moved to the fairgrounds this year. Typically, in years past, they've had it down by the river, and it's always been a big thing. It's grown every year. We've been down there a couple of years for the station. Sometimes we can't go every year. Just different obligations people got, short staffs around here. But we, as most people I think are these days, But we've been down there in years past. Always a huge turnout. Always a huge event. You hear people talking about it. Across the community, they love to go out and take the kids. It's free. It's fun. And this year, though, that like I said, they moved location. So I was kind of wondering, like, oh, how is it going to be down at the fairgrounds? From what I heard, though, and what I saw, pictures and videos and things people posted on Facebook, man, it was like huge turnout. Like somebody was saying, like you would have thought it was the Meade County Fair. There's just a bunch of people out there, and just a really big day. So. That's
awesome. And I think it probably work out better with the fairground with that kind of crowd, because like down on the riverfront is beautiful, but when you get big crowds down there, there's just there's one way in, one way out. Like it can get overwhelmed down there. So it probably worked better for people getting in and out with that kind of crowd and beautiful weather, like you said. So and everything's free. You can't go anywhere and free and have fun. That's the other awesome thing they do with that is, with the businesses kicking in, it's free food, free games, free activities. So that's. I
was wondering, they had a new event this year down by the river. It was the Loud for Life Fest. I hadn't heard much about that or how it went.
I don't know
or anything. Curious to hear if anybody out there knows how that one went. Curious to hear about that too. But anything at all on your mind you want to talk about, give us a call. We would love to hear from you at 422-3961 or 3962. And before we go any further, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're first up on Edgewise.
Hey, good morning, guys. First of all, I want to say happy anniversary to the Hobbs.
Oh, thank you.
And second thing is, what happened to our Cowboys?
Oh, my goodness.
So terrible.
I thought Kentucky was going to be the one to get blown out.
You're right. Hey, that was a great game. They played hard. I mean, they held their own, and I think they scored more than anybody else against Georgia this year.
Yeah, and I didn't get to watch it because up there where we stayed, like, you get no phone service, and, like, their thing is it's kind of like detaching. Like, there's no TVs or nothing. And and which I was all right with that, because I was like, after watching South Carolina live 2 weeks ago, I'm like, this is going to go. So, yeah, I was kind of upset I didn't get to see the whole thing, but at the same time, man, 1 point hurts.
Yeah, that defense was really strong for Kentucky. It's a total different team from the previous week. So
it almost pulled off my sandbagging prediction that they were holding back against South Carolina.
That's possible. I'm not sure about the punt there at the end, but I mean, I get the way the defense was playing. I could see his thought process, but when you're down that late, I don't know if you do that.
Yeah.
I was just curious, honestly, did y'all have any information about the recent assassination attempt or whatever it was on Trump again?
Yeah, I've been watching that.
Was it an assassination attempt? Because I just heard the really early preliminary reports yesterday and just saw some stuff on it, and then everything I was seeing early on was that it didn't have anything to do with him, but
no, it did.
Okay, so it changed.
He was on at that golf course down in West Palm Beach. He was on hole 4. This guy was posted up in the bushes on hole 5, I guess, waiting for him with an AK-47.
Oh, really?
Had backpack full of like ceramic tiles in it, a GoPro camera, and fortunately, I guess the Secret Service goes one hole ahead to scout, and they saw the barrel of the rifle pointed through the chain link fence that surrounds the golf course, and so they shot at him 3 or 4 times. He took off and left everything and fled in a car, and then they ended up catching him, and come find out, like, he's made a lot of comments online about democracy, the dog whistles of the left, the democracy's on the line this fall, and anti-Trump stuff. Yeah. And
well, it's crazy how stuff can develop so quickly with a story like that, because I didn't have I wanted to check into it more this morning, but I just didn't have the chance to look at it this morning. The last I heard was the really, really early, like, preliminary reports that were coming out about it, And what they were originally saying was they thought it had nothing to do with him, but that it was just like a dispute that was there, and then he just happened to be there.
No, he was posted up in like a sniper's nest.
Wow. Wow.
Had the GoPro and everything. I think at the time Secret Service started shooting at him, they said it was about 300 yards away from. Like, he didn't have a sight on Trump yet, the way that coursed, but when Trump would have came off the green and worked his way towards hole 5 and turned, he would have been in the sight line.
Jeez.
But Trump's the evil one.
Yeah.
Saying.
Right.
Well, this is what happens when you like sit there and lie and beef somebody up to Hitler. It's like we talked on the show before. Like, whether you like Trump or not, whether you like Kamala Harris or not, if you're going to compare somebody to Hitler, you better have your receipts to go with it, because I think we can all attest that Hitler is one of the most terrible individuals that has lived in modern history, if not all time. And if you're going to sit there with that rhetoric and keep saying he's going to be a dictator just like Hitler and Hitler and Hitler and Hitler, and dog whistling to the crazies, I mean, what is this, 2 in 60 days or less than 60 days? I mean...
That's crazy, too. I mean, how is that, like, you talk about unprecedented, everything's always unprecedented. I don't know if it is unprecedented, but certainly, I would say very rare.
I think they said it happened to, was it Ford? I think it was Ford had 2 attempts on him.
Yeah.
But Trump's been hit with one of them, I mean, like millimeters away from being Kennedy'd.
I mean, it's just crazy to think, multiple attempts within that short amount of time.
Yeah.
Multiple attempts on his life. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw a video earlier today of the debate, and Kamala's talking about how there's no soldiers in war zones or anything like that. So it shows that, and then like somebody flips the phone around, and it's all these soldiers, and he's like, well, where are we at then?
Yeah.
Because that's where they're at. They're in a war zone area, and they're like, well, did y'all forget us or what? So,
no doubt.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, obviously both sides lie and stretch the truth and twist it to where it suits whatever they want it to. But I mean, don't be putting our troops in a spot where they feel like you're leaving them out or forgetting them or whatever. Don't use them as a pawn. They're here to protect us. So that's just kind of what I had to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Appreciate the phone call.
Oh, you're welcome. Go Cards.
There you go. Amen to that. We're going to have to take a break, but if there's anything on your mind, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 270-422-3961 or 3962. We'll be back in just a few. This is Edgewise on WMM.
Are you looking to rent a piece of equipment to get those do-it-yourself jobs done? Are you needing some fuel or oil to finish that job at the farm or on the job site? Hello, I'm Cash Redmond with Midway Petroleum and Midway Rents. We have all your hometown fuel, oil, and rental needs. We promise customer satisfaction with our prices and service. Come on down to see us at the Caution Line in Midway on Highway 79 or give us a call at 270-422-2992. We hope to see you soon.
There is something about a fresh haircut from the friendly, skilled stylists at Great Clips that, well, just makes life greater. Find out for yourself at our newest location in River Ridge Plaza in Brandenburg. Come on in and meet our experienced stylist.
Hi, I'm Amber, and I've been a Great Clip stylist for 2 years.
Hi, I'm Faith. I've been a Great Clip stylist for 10 years.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I've been a Great Clip stylist for 10 years.
I'm Courtney. I've been with Great Clips for 18 years.
And I am Carrie. I've been with Great Clips for 25 years. Come on in today and see for yourself. We can make you look and feel great.
When you choose Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
September means big savings at Wright Implement. Stop by today and check out our huge selection of battery-powered leaf blowers, line trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Select John Deere compact utility tractors, 0% for 84 months and payments as low as $154 a month. Add a loader for $44 a month. Add a 60-inch mower deck for $31 a month. Wright Implement. Online at wrightimp.com. Offers end 9/30/24. Some restrictions apply. See us for details.
So many things in life are unpredictable, but your insurance rates shouldn't be. If you're tired of your insurance rates going up and down like a yo-yo, give Planners Insurance a call. Planners is a local insurance co-op formed in 1904. They haven't had a rate increase in years, and they have no plans to increase rates anytime soon. Call Sharon Ledford today at 270-547-3921 or 270-547-8467.
Guess who's back?
We now return to Edgewise on 93.5 WMMG. Join in on the discussion today. Give us a call at 270-422-3961 or 270-422-3962.
We're back. It is Edgewise, and if there's anything on your mind, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. You can also comment, weigh in over on Facebook if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you over there. Let us know where you're watching from. You know, we had to get into the politics again, but I was just thinking, you know, I saw, you know, he was talking about some of Harris's comments and things, and I saw some videos over the weekend of, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but Charlie Kirk,
yeah,
I think is his name. He goes to a lot of, as I'm sure you've seen, goes to a lot of college campuses, and he'll have kind of debates and discussions with some of these, you know, college kids about, you know, politics and conservative values and even Christianity. Sometime I've seen him kind of interject some Christian apologetics in there, which I think is real cool. But he was kind of just laying out the case. I saw a couple of clips where he was just basically laying out, like, boom, 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 point after point, like, here are the facts, like, regardless of what you think of his personality, regardless of what you think about this, regardless of what you think about that, like, here, just compare the two administrations, because we have the Biden administration. We have, you know, a unique situation, really, in this presidential election, because we have two 4-year administrations that we can compare. Yes, obviously, Harris is not Biden, but she is his VP. She's part of the administration. I think everybody knows, you know, Biden hasn't really been running much of anything. I mean, I think that's been pretty clear. But you know, you have two 4-year administrations to really go on. Yeah. You have Trump's 4 years that he was in office, and you have, you know, the Biden administration's 4 years. And, you know, this Charlie Kirk guy, he was just kind of laying this out. He's like, boom, 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 point after point. If you just break it down, get all emotions aside, get all preconceived notions and opinions aside, and just boom, 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 you look at it, the economy, you know, better under the Trump administration. You look at the, you know, like war and peace. I mean, we had no new wars under the Trump administration. Yeah. You know, it was more of a time of peace during the Trump administration. You know, you just compare the two, and you just, you know, there's just no question when you just look at the facts and get the emotions out of the way. You know, get the, oh, I don't like him because the news media told me not to like him, or I don't like him because, and frankly, I mean, I got plenty of reasons to not like the guy personally. I mean, he's, you know, his personality is just horrible in a lot of ways. But you get all of that out of the way and just look at the facts, just compare the two 4-year administrations, and there's just no question. Yeah. It's just no question.
Look at my bank account right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And I saw somebody on Facebook the other day had a thing like, I don't know, I don't need to watch a debate. I know what my bank account looked like several years ago, and I know what it looks like now. Yeah. I've been to the grocery, you know, several years ago, and I've been to the grocery now. Like, I don't need a, you know. Yeah. Which we all know there's a lot of factors that go into these sorts of things. You know, the inflation, the you know, the economy. There's a lot of different factors, but just general comparisons. You compare the two administrations. There's no question. Yeah. There's no question.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the policies she voted for, the American Rescue Plan and the stuff they had in that, and the supposedly inflation reduction plan that she was the tie-breaking vote for, are what blew the inflation up. You can't just keep printing money and handing it out, and instead of trading money for goods, like that's how it keeps it flowing. We're not trading money for goods. We're just inflating the system by throwing all this cash out there.
Which a lot of that's the Federal Reserve too, and it's not necessarily the presidential administration. I mean, because I think the Federal Reserve did like a QE thing. I'm pretty sure they did one during the Trump administration as well, which was during COVID.
Help any, but all these programs where they just kept printing money and printing money and printing money, and like the American Rescue thing, it's like there's so much fraud out there. Like all these companies that took in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off of COVID aid that shouldn't have even been getting it. And I mean, even all of us, like I remember they sent all of us EBT cards that had kids, regardless of your financial status, kids in school. And because schools were out and they weren't getting food, they sent us these. Every parent got an EBT card with like several thousand on it, and it's like there was no look. Like I was blessed because my wife's a nurse and I was a journalist, so like we were considered essential personnel on both counts. So like I kept working, she kept working, and it's like. If people were hurting, I could see, but like just to give blank cards of thousands and thousands of dollars out over and over and over again, it's like sooner or later that receipt's going to come in.
Yeah. If you want to weigh in, give us a call. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to grab one of those right now. Good morning. You are next up on Edgewise.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, hanging in there, I guess. I heard something about this latest attempt from the law enforcement in Florida that kind of surprised me a little bit. I don't know if this guy represented the FBI or a local police force down there, but he said that they didn't extend the security perimeter out as far as where this guy set up out there around that fence, because they treated President Trump just like anybody who was running for president. Like if RFK Jr., for example, was running for president, they only go out so far with their security. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. President Trump's not anybody that's running for president. He's an ex-president. And plus, he's already had...
Yeah, I was going to say, not only an ex-president, but has literally just in recent months had another attempt on his life. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of that stuff just doesn't ring true. But I guess one more comment on just rhetoric in general, and it's both sides are guilty, and both sides have said some strong negative things about the other. I think the left is more negative than the right, but that's just me. I first started thinking about that stuff back, I guess, for an example, like Reagan and Tip O'Neill. They would just be at each other's throats, but then they'd go play golf together. And I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't get so worked up about some of the things that we hear now. I never heard Tip O'Neill accuse Reagan of being another Hitler. You can go too far with it, but you just need to kind of take it with a grain of salt and think, well, this is an election year. They're both trying to win. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. See you later.
Well, appreciate the call, and made a great point because, it's like you said, both sides are going to make their case and get a little strong at times, but when you're calling somebody Hitler over and over again, when you're saying that this election, like the stuff I hear coming out of Trump is, it's too strong, but she's crazy, or she's gonna kill everybody's bank account because she has no plan with the economy. Like, he's throwing his digs, don't get me wrong, but when you go taking it to over and over, and we've been hearing this for how long? This is the ultimate threat to democracy.
Yeah, our democracy is literally
she said
on
it in
the
the debate the other night, that it was the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. What about Pearl Harbor? You know,
Yeah. No, well, there was
he's Hitler. Like, you're taking this to, especially if you're not really that stable, that like, I'm doing the world a favor for taking this guy out because he's the devil reincarnated. You know, like if I was alive when Hitler was alive and you had like proximity to him, you probably have to think about taking the guy out to save, you know, because he's just like the devil.
Well, Nancy Pelosi had a comment when Trump was in office about the greatest threat to our democracy right now is over there on Pennsylvania Avenue. She said that. That's the greatest threat to our democracy. Like saying that about the sitting president. And they've treated him when he was president. Never mind the campaigns,
deplorable.
How he's been treated. But when he was president, when he was literally the president of the United States, he was treated in the media like no other president has ever been treated before.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way that people, I don't know. It was just so different from any other president. You could say, well, he was different from any other president. Well, fair enough, but still, you take it to a whole nother level, you know. And yeah, he has got his problems too, and I think he's added a flavor of bad stuff to the debate stage, so to speak. I mean, you look at how the debates are. Well, you know, the character attacks and the like the, you know, we're all fourth graders now and we're just gonna like throw jabs at each other, or like this is the Jerry Springer show. That's how a lot of political debates are now, and I think we have, in large part, they were progressively going towards that, you know, before Trump, but I think in large part we have Trump to thank, you know, to blame for a lot of that.
Stepped it up, but
there is a difference between that and he's Hitler, and he's going to ruin our democracy.
Well, I was watching a thing, and I wish I had it to play it and refresh myself because it just made me think of it. And Bill Maher had a thing the other day, and like me and Bill Maher would in a typical political world, you wouldn't find me and Bill Maher agreeing with much.
Sure.
I mean, he's firmly hardcore liberal, but to me also, I find myself over the last few years, probably even longer than that, like more and more I'm like, yeah, because he's also more of that old school liberal, the old blue dog Democrat liberals that would fight harder for something you're saying that they don't agree with at all, but for you to have the right to say it.
Yeah, classical liberalism, more like a libertarian type of.
Yes, they fully believe that whether they liked you or not, that they would fight harder than anybody for you to have that right to say whatever you wanted to say. And now it's totally flipped. And like he had a thing the other day, and like he was bashing the far left, and he was like, and this is invading our, it's invading the whole party. And I'll have to go back and listen to it because I can't do it no justice. But it was basically like, not only is it got terrible, but, you know, he was kind of pointing that they're so hateful. Like, it's just angry hate over there. And you see this stuff. I mean, look at the Antifa. Who's got the Antifa? That's coming out of the left.
That's Bill Maher talking about angry hate. I mean, talking about angry and hateful. I mean, look at his track record.
When you got the left calling out the left...
When you've got Bill Maher, let alone calling out somebody for being angry and hateful, you may want to check yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
And I mean, and here we are. In less than 60 days, we've had 2 assassination attempts on one candidate. It hadn't been coming from both sides. And like this whole room has got to cool the heck down now. Because we've talked about it on the show. There's like so much mental health issue in the world right now, or our country right now, and it's not getting any better. And they're just flaming these fires, and, you know, this cannot become our norm.
To be fair, I could see there's some people who would disagree with me, probably, who think that the one side never does any wrong. But I could certainly see some people who are a little unhinged, because there are unhinged people on both sides of the political spectrum. You know, people who don't have all their marbles there together, resorting to violence. As tense as the political division is in this country right now, as much as people are just so divided and just at each other's throats. And the way that the media on both sides has kind of played this versus that, and this one's going to ruin this, and this one is a threat to democracy, and I could easily see somebody on that side resorting to violence. I mean, we all know what happened on January 6th, and I think it's been blown a little bit out of proportion. I don't think it was an insurrection. I don't think it was an attempt at a giant coup. I don't think Trump was the mastermind behind it. I don't think he was, trying to start a violent revolution. But there were people that were breaking into the Capitol. There were some things going on there. I could easily see some unhinged people on that side resorting to violence as well. And that's why the outcome of this next election very, very much concerns me, regardless of what the outcome is, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more so than ever, we saw this a little bit in 2020, but I think more so than ever now, regardless of what the outcome of this next election is, I'm very, very concerned. I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the media needs to get back to just talking facts.
Yeah.
The temperature's got to come down, and the media is leading this above any of them. And because even when somebody does say something, they play it up even more, and then they drill it, and they drill it, and they drill it, and they drill it, and it's one thing for a politician to say something that's not true, but when the media is not fact checking it and keeps parroting it, it's kind of like I keep hearing about this daggone Project 2025, and they keep saying it, and they keep vilifying it, and it's Trump's plan, and it's going to end everything, and all this end all be all, and they know good and well if they've fact checked it all, he is over and over adamantly had nothing to do with it. It's done by a think tank that has been doing this since the 70s. Every 4 years they do it. But that's what they're trying to do, is make you think he's the devil so bad. You can't just dislike his policies. You've got to hate him.
Yes, yeah.
And you got to hate him. And you got to hate him to the point that they're thinking that you won't anybody vote for him. But what it's leading to is that people are starting to believe they need to hate him so bad that they're trying to shoot him. Like, that is unheard of. This is not a banana republic.
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, it's just, okay, well, let's say, this election happens in November. Let's say Trump wins. What do you think happens in the country as an immediate result, like election night or election morning or whatever, whenever the results come out? What do you think happens if Trump wins?
Oh, I think a huge portion of the population absolutely loses their mind. I don't know how that plays out, but it scares the dickens out of me to even think about it, because
we
knew this was going to
yes.
be, we were talking last year on the show at the end of the year and the beginning of this year that it was going to be a crazy election cycle, but nobody had on the bingo card one assassination attempt, let alone two.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who
well,
and
we've all seen what the violence from that side politically looks like.
Oh.
We've all seen what that looks like with the riots, with the quote unquote peaceful protests that took place, where cities were burning down and there was looting and there was rioting and murder and this and that and the other thing. Like we've seen what the political violence can look like from that side. We've seen what civil unrest looks like from that side. So if Trump is the one who wins in November, that concerns me. I'll be honest though, I'm just as concerned maybe about a Trump loss in that sense, because again, I do think you have some unhinged folks on that side. I mean, we'd be ignorant to say that they're not unhinged folks, just in general. There's crazy, kooky people that are this and that are that and that are, anything.
It don't matter what box you get.
Yeah, and
male, female, black, white, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat. You find a group of humans, and especially a big enough one, I can find you plenty of crazy.
And considering how tense things have become and how there has been this, these questions about the legitimacy of the elections, whether you think that's legitimate or not, that there are legitimate concerns over that. Whether you think that's legitimate or not, there has been this discussion over that, and there has been a very, very widespread popular belief amongst a lot of Trump supporters that the last election was stolen. To my knowledge, they haven't found any concrete evidence in a court of law that would prove that. But there are still people who believe it regardless. And so that concerns me too. Yeah. If Trump loses, I mean, what's that going to look like? Yeah. I mean, we know January 6th wasn't as big as people are playing it out to be, but what happens if it is the next time? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think we're just so divided and so tense in this country that this election is just going to, I don't know, I think it's going to be ugly. And I hate to be a pessimist like that, but I think it's going to be ugly regardless of who wins.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a stress test that's got me worried regardless. Because it's just, I don't know, it drives me crazy. It's just like, why? Like, I'm obviously concerned, but it's like, why? How do we get to the point where you take it to that? It was like I talked about a while back. We've been a country for a few years now. Had a few shots at presidents. Had some really great ones, had some really bad ones. But America always persevered. Now, do I think there's a way that will get us to where we can enjoy life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness a lot better with one than the other? Yes, but at the end of the day, regardless of what happens on November the 7th, or whenever it is, we will survive. Or we should, no.
We should. The mentality should be that we will survive. Yes, but if people don't have that mentality, then we might not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
No, I knew where you were going with that. Yeah,
exactly. Like the last few years have been terrible, absolutely terrible. They drive me nuts, and it's been hard to survive. But we're still making it. No.
Well, because this is not this is not a classic, traditional, normal, Republican versus Democrat presidential election.
No. This
is not a, George W. Bush versus Al Gore election. This is not a Barack Obama versus Mitt Romney election. This is not that. We're just dealing with a whole different world now. Frankly, I mean, in terms of the politics, in terms of the way people view these things, in terms of the issues, in terms of the information and the media coverage and the misinformation and I mean, it's just, we're just in such a bizarre, strange, weird, unprecedented, I'll use that term, time.
Yeah.
It's true, we are, and so this isn't like a normal, you know what I mean? That's why I say it concerns me, regardless of what happens, regardless of what the result is. It kind of concerns me because this isn't a Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. This isn't a John McCain versus Obama. You know what I mean? This is not the typical election that we've seen. We saw a little bit of craziness in the last one in 2020, but this is just such a strange thing that we're facing now, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Twilight Zone in a bad way.
Well, we have spent a lot of time yakking, and now we got to take a commercial break. Anything on your mind, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Back in a few, it's Edgewise on WMMG.
Are you looking for a little slice of heaven to plant your flag and call home? Or maybe you have some property you're looking to sell? Well, go check out my friends at Kentucky Land Company of Irvington. Whether you're looking for a small lot close to town or a small farm out in the country, they have property in 12 counties to meet your needs. They also offer easy, no-credit check owner financing. Kentucky Land Company of Irvington is here 7 days a week to meet your property needs. Go check them out today at ky-land.com or give them a call at 547-4222.
When other companies say no, Planters Insurance says yes. Got a vacation home, rental property, or church that needs coverage? Planters Insurance insures all types of properties across Kentucky. Just give Sharon Ledford a call today at 270-547-3921 or 270-547-8467. Planters Insurance, a local insurance co-op since 1904.
Hey, did you know that Pollock's Appliance is finally open for business at their new location at 2031 Highway 79 in Brandenburg? And they want to invite the community out to their grand opening celebration on Saturday, September 28th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Lunch will be provided around noon, plus they'll have some giveaways, including some small appliances and a new Broil King gas grill. Along with a variety of appliances, Pollock's is now carrying Broil King gas grills, Pit Boss, and Louisiana pellet grills and smokers, as well as some quality outdoor furniture. So come and check out Pollock's Appliance at their new location at the corner of Highway 79 and Kirchdorfer Road, less than 1 mile from the bypass. Their grand opening celebration will be Saturday, September 28th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Make sure to look up Pollock's Appliance on Facebook or check out their website, pollocksappliance.com, to find all the deals.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. That's 800-694-1127.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-216-7531. 800-216-7531. That's 800-216-7531.
Guess who's back?
We now return to Edgewise on 93.5 WMMG. Join in on the discussion today. Give us a call at 270-422-3961 or 270-422-3962.
Welcome back. It's Edgewise on WMMG, and I forgot to, there we go. Forgot to turn the cameras back on. We are back. If there's anything on your mind you want to weigh in, give me a call. Love to hear from you. 422-3961, 3962. I wanted to address this, too, because I saw somebody brought up in the comments the Project 2025 thing. And I'm just, I've heard about this so much now.
Yeah.
You hear Project 2025, Project 2025. And I keep aiming to dig into it and look at Project 2025 of the text of it, because
it's like 900 pages long, I think.
Yeah, and I wanted to get the gist of it at least. But from what I've heard from reliable, trustworthy sources that I trust, that I think are level-headed, reasonable people, they've said you look at it and really it's not. There are some questionable things in Project 2025, but it's not this thing that people are making it out to be.
No.
That it's this horrible, horrific thing. A lot of it, I think, has to do with preserving the family unit. A lot of it has to do with traditional values and things of that nature, that people are making it out to be like almost this, like, Project 2025. It's like this horrible, horrific, world-ending apocalypse type of thing. And from what I've heard from people, you look at it, and it's nothing like that. The second point on that is that they're trying to associate Donald Trump with it when Donald Trump has openly come out and said, I do not have anything to do with 2025. I've got issues with Project 2025. I don't like some of the stuff in there. I think he said some of the stuff is really wacky or crazy or whatever word he used to describe it. But he has completely distanced himself from 2025. And you look at the source of it, even the people on record, the conservative think tanks who are responsible for constructing Project 2025 have said this is not affiliated with Donald Trump. This is not affiliated with any political candidate. It's this conservative think tank group that gets together. There's think tanks for all sorts of different things. And I think we
right wing, left wing, moderate. There's think tanks in D.C. for everything.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, if you people are just trying to associate Donald Trump with Project 2025. He has come out and said, and the people who put the thing together have come out and said multiple times, he doesn't have anything to do with it. He's not associated with it at all. But yet we're still trying to tie Donald Trump to Project 2025.
Well, and the ties is they were like, well, some of the people, because it's a ultra conservative. The Heritage Foundation, they're very conservative. Mm-hmm. And it's a plan that would start on day one that they've laid out of how to turn the country around in all facets, economy, abortion, big things, little things. And so there's all kinds of authors in it that wrote different pieces of it. Some of them were in the last Trump administration. Trump's came out and said that, he fired a lot of them. He had good people and bad people, and, and so they're going to work there. And, like, the one part that I see the left just losing their mind about is the part about abortion, and they say that it lays out a national ban on abortion. Trump has came out over and over again, even before this whole Project 25 scare tactic, and said abortion is right where he thinks it should be, in the hands of the states. He doesn't want anything to do with it on the national level. He thinks the national level is where it's at. It should go to the states, and that he's for exceptions. So this,
which by the way, like for me, like I almost, some of Trump's stance that he's had on abortion over the years and some of the comments he's made, and this is just me and my personal opinion and the way I view that issue, like I almost fault Trump a little bit for not being more open about his stance and more like hardline, taking a hardline stance on it. That's just me. I'm glad that obviously out of the two candidates, he's certainly the pro-life candidate. But he has distanced himself from all of this stuff, and yet we still want to associate Donald Trump with Project 2025. He has said, and the people who put it together have said, it's not Donald Trump. It's not a political. It's a conservative think tank. I'm sure there's a lot of things in there that Donald Trump probably agrees with. Yeah. He has said there are things in there that he disagrees with. He's called some of it wacky and crazy. He said this.
Yeah.
Maybe he's lying. I don't know. But let's just take things at face value here. I don't know. It's.
Well, it's like I said the other day. If it really was this horrendous plan to deceive American voters and to unleash some ungodly plan on America behind their back once you're in office, like they're trying to make it out to be, which it's not. But if that was the case, are you telling me they're too stupid to wait till after the election to unveil their sinister plan, if it was a sinister plan? Are you going to release it before election?
Yeah,
that shows it was the think tankers.
Exactly. And by the way, the left wing has
they did it in 2000. They did it in 1970. They do this every year. They release this.
And by the way, people on the left have gotten just as bad as the people on the far right with some of the conspiracy theories. A lot of time you think of conspiracy theories and things, and you associate it with the far right, which rightfully so. There's a lot of conspiracy theory on the far right, and we talked about conspiracy theory the other day and my thoughts on that. But the left has gotten just as bad here lately. You see they're taking, so many people are taking this clip where Donald Trump was talking to Christian voters, and he said, Christians, you don't need to vote again. Just vote now, and you don't need to vote again in 4 years. There were political pundits on the left, and people were taking that clip. Is Donald Trump saying something stupid there? Yes, because he's Donald Trump, and that's what he does. He says stupid stuff sometimes. He says ridiculous things. Ridiculous things come out of his mouth. We all know this is what Donald Trump does. But there were people who were actually trying to say, see, what this is he's telling everybody right there in plain sight that he's going to take over and cause a coup, and he's going to become the dictator, and you won't need to vote again because he's going to take over, and there's never going to be another election again. That's not what he said. He was just making a stupid comment, which, by the way, I think it's kind of gross to me as a Christian, the way he kind of panders a little bit to the Christians and the way he kind of that's icky to me, to be honest with you. But that's what he was doing. He was making a stupid comment. He was being silly. He wasn't saying he's going to be a dictator. But you have these people on the left who are saying, look, see, he's telling you in plain sight. They've gotten just as bad as the right wing with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Well, they take everything out of context.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like she even brought it up the other day, the bloodbath thing that's been debunked. He was talking to the auto industry and said that if that was when Biden was still in, if Biden's in there again, it's going to be a bloodbath, and I lose, it's going to be a bloodbath. And they end it there. And like somebody made a comment when I was talking about this the other day. How come Trump supporters always have to explain for him? First of all, I'm not doing either of the things. But if you've got to listen to the whole thing, because what he was saying, if you don't just clip out, he said bloodbath if I lose, is he was saying that they're shipping all of it to Mexico, which they're already starting to do, and the whole auto industry in Detroit will fold.
Yeah.
There wasn't nothing about a civil war and going to shoot everybody up in a bloodbath,
and that is one of the worst things about our TikTok culture now,
yes.
and the clip culture. I've seen it's gotten worse here lately, and that's one thing that drives me nuts more than anything. It just bothers me when you see stuff taken out of context, and people are believing it. You look at the comments, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, whatever."
Well,
they're believing the narrative, but I'm like, I'm sitting there looking at some of this stuff, and both sides are doing it. But I'm like, I just literally saw that clip, the full clip the other day. That's not what they were talking about at all. That's totally taken out of context. What they're trying to say that person was saying, that's not what they were saying. I've seen the full clip, but you can just take a clip, and most people, they're just watching a TikTok video, and they're watching video after video. They're not going to go do the research. They're not going to go and look it up for themselves. And that's what's scary today about our
Oh, yeah. Well, they even, I forget when it was. I remember a comment on ours. Why do they always have to explain what he means? And it's like, because nobody listens to what he said.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I'm explaining it, because you missed the 5 minutes in front and the 5 minutes after. That line that explained that it'd be like right now, I'm going, when we get off here, I'm going out in the parking lot and I'm killing it.
Yeah. Right.
And you're going to be like, well, what's he killing? Well, if you'd listened to the 5 minutes before, I was talking about there's a rattlesnake out there and it's circling around my Jeep. But if all you put is I'm killing it, and then I start talking about somebody that's coming to the show later, what did he mean?
Or if I'm quoting somebody who said something horrible, and then you just take the quote out, of context, and take that clip of the quote and me saying that quote, it looks like I'm the one that's saying that, when you clipped out the part, 5 seconds before where I said, this person said, and then proceeded to give the quote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like stuff can be taken out of context so easily, and both sides do it. And by the way, I have pushed back before and explained before where people on the right were saying, look at what Joe Biden. I've done this. I've done this on this show. I'd have to go back and find the show or find the day when I did it. But there's people on the right who will say, Joe Biden was saying this, and I was like, okay, come on, guys. If you look at it clearly, he was not saying that. He was saying something else. Don't get me wrong, not a fan of his policies, so on and so forth, but let's be honest here, he wasn't actually, that's not what he was actually saying. So it happens on both sides, and I'll call it out on both sides. I just want context. I just want truth, and not this, 5-second clip, and now we know what the person stands for.
Oh, yeah. And that's what's wrong with, that's what I hate about reels and stuff, is it never gives all of it. And there's a lot of times it's not even political. I'll be watching something like somebody I like listening to, like a big speaker, and it's like, well, it's just getting to the good part. What'd you cut it off for? Because I wanted to hear how he explained it or how she explained it. So that's one of the downsides. But hey, I don't know. We can't cure all the world's ills today.
Yeah, I know. We're just about out of time. Actually, we are. Let's see. Got to see what's doing here. Yeah, we're way out of time. I think we're already over. So we thank you all for tuning in and putting up with us today. Lord willing, we will be back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep.
You know that reference, of course, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I've had people tell me that they didn't get the reference.
Spider-Man, right?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I've had people tell me they didn't get that reference. I'm like, how can you not know the was it 1960s?
They didn't watch the original Batman.
Adam West.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the original, but it was close to it.
Yeah.
The Adam West. I was actually show you how much of a I know I said we were out of time, but I don't care. Show you how much of a child I am at heart. We were in an antique store or something recently, or a flea market or something. My wife likes going to those, and I saw in its original package, it was a Hot Wheel. It was the original like the Adam West Batmobile in a original Hot Wheels package. I almost bought it. I actually almost bought it. I didn't, but I was like, I really want that.
Americana.
I really want that.
Yeah.
But it's in the package, and I mean, who wants it in the package? I'd have to take it out of the package. I mean, I want to play with it. I want to play Batman. Oh my gosh, we got a phone call. I don't know. Okay, we've got somebody, but I'm gonna have to make this really, really, really quick. We'll have to make this really, really quick because we were out of time. Good morning. You were last up on Edgewise.
Just wanted to tell you, I went to the Tucker Day Saturday and had a great, wonderful time. Got to meet some of the Wimpy family and the best people that I ever met. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Thank you. God bless as well. And that's going to do it for us. Have a great one. Love you guys. God bless.
Are you looking for a little slice of heaven to plant your flag and call home? Or maybe you have some property